So let me pick up with the acronym ACCEPTS, which is several different categories of ways to distract, to try to think of. So one category is activities. The word A, the letter A, stands for activities. And that's just such a wide range that it depends on highly individualizing that to each person. But there's activities like cleaning your house or doing work in your yard if you're outside, taking a walk, going to the store, cooking, making something, playing computer games, doing almost anything that takes your mind away from the distressing content and stimuli and putting it somewhere else, so it makes it more tolerable. Second, one of the C's would be to contribute. And contributing means that while instead of being just preoccupied with your own distress, you might think of somebody else who might be in distress or be having trouble or be sick or need a phone call or a visit, and do that to contribute to someone else. And rather than stay involved with your own, you put yourself out there with someone else. This next C is comparisons, and there's two types of comparisons. One type that's fairly reliably helpful is if you compare your current state of mind and your current situation with another time in the past that you've gotten through. Maybe it was even worse. And therefore, it sort of reminds you that you can get through this, which might help you encourage yourself and reduce your distress some, or at least allow you to tolerate your distress some. The other type of comparison works for some people and not others, and might depend how you do it, but it's when you compare your own distress to that of other people who may be more unfortunate than you are. And by doing that, you might be reminded, wait a minute, I'm not in the worst position in the world, and it might help to reduce or tolerate your distress. On the other hand, for some people, it makes them feel more guilty because they're thinking, oh my God, look how upset I am, and there's other people who have it worse than me. So it kind of depends on how you do that one. The E is different emotions, is to try to get your mind off of the current emotion and onto some other emotion. So you might pick something to watch on television, a movie to watch, something to read that brings a different emotion, that makes you a little bit lighter. You know, it's like going to a lighter movie when you're very distressed. It might help to tolerate your distress, to not keep focusing on something so dark. It might have to do with what kind of music you listen to. You know, it might make it can be an interesting discussion in your group to hear what people do choose to listen to when they're in distress, and maybe make suggestions to each other and even listen to clips in the group to bring it more alive. The P is with pushing away. So that really is something that often individuals with severe emotion dysregulation already do sometimes. So it's just building on a skill they might already have, which is to try to push away the distressing thing, push away the content, the stimuli, whatever it is, like put it on a shelf. It's just sort of imagining mentally, leave it aside. You know it'll be there, and bring yourself to something else. The next one, T, with other thoughts. So here you're trying to get your mind focused on other things. You might work puzzles, word puzzles or other types of puzzles, jigsaw puzzle. You might be counting to 10. You might be doing mathematics in your mind if that's something you can do. And you might be trying to memorize something or remember the words to a song or something like that that engages your thoughts when your thoughts are being driven by the emotional scenario. And finally, the S, other sensations. So you're having these intense emotions and maybe some sensations. Try to engage your mind in focusing on other sensations. Take a hot bath or a cold shower or a hot shower, or you know, take some ice and hold it on your wrist or on your hand or in your mouth. Something that generates an intensity of emotions or intensity of sensations to take your mind off of what you're doing. Go out in the rain or the snow and just let the experience of those sensations settle you down. Okay, we're done with distracting, That's the third of the 6 skills. Here comes the fourth. Self-soothing, also no star on this page, but I'm recommending that you teach it anyway. It's a really helpful thing to have, something that people already do to some degree. This is more expanding on the idea. And the idea of self-soothing is built around the 5 senses. You can soothe yourself through what you look at, your vision, through your touch, through your taste, through smell, through what you listen to. This is where you kind of bias yourself towards bringing in sensations of a soothing nature, which is different for different people. But then you can go from each of these 5 senses, one to the other, and discuss this with everybody. I mean, you could even start this teaching by bringing in some things and having people try out. Well, when you touch different things, what are the soothing things? What are the not soothing? You could listen to little clips of music. What's soothing? What's not soothing in terms of sound? And so you get, teaching this class on self-soothing can be very concrete, experiential, have people try things. Sometimes people could, to soothe themselves, they talk about their dog. Maybe you can go have somebody bring a dog in, if that's acceptable where you are, and have everybody pet if it's a soothing dog. And when you teach this, you can also set up 5 stations in the room, where you've set up things that smell, things that taste, things you can touch, things you can hear in 5 different places where there's different types of things. And then people could go around and rate which are the most soothing things in each category. And the idea in the homework would be then to have people develop their own self-soothing kit so that they have a box, maybe even a box they work on and create a very nice looking box, and that in itself is soothing. Pick some colors, pick some things to put in the box to smell and taste and touch and listen to and so on. That really is your soothing kit that helps you to bring your mind off of the harsh, distressing situation into something soothing to help you tolerate distress. There are a couple more handouts in here, a body scan meditation step by step that really can be read out loud and have people go through, focusing on different parts of their body in a way that makes them more mindful and helps them tolerate distress. Or they can actually record this because there's a script, and they could then listen to themselves doing it while they're lying down. The next skill is a starred skill, improving the moment. Improve the moment, and it's an acronym of the word improve, I-M-P-R-O-V-E. This is sort of a number of different skills. I find what's useful about them is none of these require props. You could do all of these if you were in pain and lying down, unable to go anywhere. I mean, they all are kind of like just right there for you. And they can be powerful, but each of them requires effort and practice to make them stronger. So the I is imagery. So you could work on safe imagery for people who feel unsafe. Have them close their eyes and build a room, build a place on the ocean, build a place in the woods, some place where they find very soothing and safe and comfortable, and literally populate it with the things, the colors, the sounds, everything they would want. And build that and then return to it later and do it every day for a few days until there is really a solid image to which one can return quickly to feel safer when you're not feeling safe, but actually there's nothing you can do about the situation. There's also imagery of being more assertive, being more confident, where you can really practice in your mind interacting in a situation where there's high distress with more confidence and assertiveness, and that can shift you in that direction. Improving the moment, the M can stand for meaning, where you try to notice whether what you're going through with such distress, whether there's some aspect of it that's meaningful, that's preparing you for the future, preparing you to help other people, that you can do things that have to do with your values and try to stick to your values even though you're in distress. That could be meaningful. Then there's prayer, P. Prayer can be done in many different ways, and Linehan has always emphasized that kind of distress tolerance prayer would take the form of, if you're speaking to a being of some religious or non-religious nature, or just imagining it, it's really saying, please give me the strength to tolerate this distress. Please give me the strength to tolerate this distress is the kind of prayer that might be a distress tolerance prayer, as opposed to, please get me this pony for Christmas, or please take away my pain. Because these things then, when they don't happen, make you more distressed. So it's really to strengthen your distress tolerance ability. The R is for relaxation, to do things that are relaxing, whether it be a relaxation exercise of the kind we already talked about, or it's just doing relaxing things. Maybe you make yourself some hot milk. Maybe you do some yoga practice. Maybe you lie and listen to music. Maybe you get a massage, or you massage your own neck or scalp, so on. The O is one thing in a moment, in the moment, really just sticking. Focus your entire attention on just what you're doing now, and then do something for distress tolerance purposes, and just stay with one thing at a time. Because as soon as you start to pile on other thoughts, other worries, other concerns, other sensations, other stimuli, you tend to generate more arousal, and you're trying to get arousal down. So just do one thing at a time. The V is a brief vacation. It doesn't mean you're really going on a vacation per se, but you start to think about what is it when you're on vacation that helps you feel calmer, helps you tolerate life better, helps you be recharging your batteries. And are there any things about living that way that you could build into the next hour of your own life? What you read, what you do, it may just a vacation state of mind, what you listen to, what you don't do, that you kind of drop everything for a while, take a complete breather from life, and especially the difficult or work-oriented things of life. And the E of improve is encouragement, which is really self-talk. It's encouraging yourself, thinking, this too shall pass. I will get through this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I can tolerate this. I can stand it, etc. It's really self-talk, okay? There's another sensory awareness page, but those are the 6 skills, right? Stop, pros and cons, distracting, self-soothing, improve the moment. And I left one out. What did I leave out? What did I leave out? Tell me. Get there before I do. Oh, the tip skills, of course, the tip skills. Okay, now we're going to move on to beginning introducing you to reality acceptance skills, and then I'll be moving on to that in another video. So you get to another starred page, and it shows you the 5. Well, there's 2 on 1. Half smiling and willing hands is two similar but different exercises. So these are 6 things to practice to heighten your sense of reality and accepting reality as it is, including the facts of reality that we'd rather not accept, because so often we distress ourselves more by trying to block out things we don't like. But we can't really block them out and make them go away, including negative emotions, but also facts of life, short-term facts of life or long-term facts of life. Both, these apply. These you could practice every day, unlike the distress tolerance skills. You can practice just being aware of reality and what you like, what you don't like, and let them both have their say, and allow them to be in you. So these are a good set to use every day, but they're also good when you're really in distress. One of the things that can help you get over the threshold of distress into where you can even use these crisis survival strategies is by accepting the reality. Rather than saying, this is not happening to me. This is not happening to me. I will not accept this. And yet it's a fact. You might be better off to say, you know what? I can get through this. I will get through this. I will accept this. And I will do what I need to do to tolerate the associated experiences. So, that having introduced this reality acceptance one, we're going to come back to it in the next video. Okay.